Hello dear Homepedia family. The era of the stark white modern farmhouse is officially fading, making way for a trend that feels significantly more grounded, historical, and texturally rich. Enter the Organic Spanish Farmhouse of 2026, a sophisticated design movement that harmonizes the rustic charm of old-world Europe with the clean lines of contemporary living. This isn't just about adding a few arches to a hallway. It is a fundamental shift towards warm minimalism, embracing imperfections and prioritizing materials that age beautifully over time to create a sanctuary that feels truly timeless and deeply personal. Throughout this video, we are going to deconstruct exactly how to achieve the Spanish Hacienda fusion look without it feeling like a theme park recreation or a dated 90s revival. We will explore the critical importance of authentic materials like reclaimed wood and hand-finished plaster, and show you how to utilize parabolic curves to soften your architecture. If you are ready to elevate your home with quiet luxury and biophilic design principles, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe. Let's dive deep into the specific elements that transform a standard house into a modern retreat. The traditional farmhouse had its moment, dominated by bright whites and high-contrast black accents, but 2026 demands more depth and soul. The Organic Spanish Farmhouse is the answer, bringing a grounded, earthy weight to residential architecture. It moves away from the crisp, manufactured look of board and batten siding, replacing it with the undulation of hand-troweled surfaces. This style is not about perfection. It is about the wabi-sabi of the Mediterranean, where every uneven edge tells a story of craftsmanship and every surface invites you to touch it. At the core of this aesthetic is the concept of the Spanish Hacienda fusion, which blends the robust, fortified feeling of historic estates with modern openness. We are seeing a move away from open-concept barns towards spaces that feel protected and intimate, yet connected to nature. This involves thicker walls, deep thresholds, and a layout that centers around communal living while respecting privacy. The fusion comes from stripping away the heavy ornamentation of the past and replacing it with clean, sculptural forms that allow the quality of the materials to take center stage. One of the most defining characteristics of this trend is the use of authentic stucco wall finishes, both inside and out. Unlike standard drywall, which can feel hollow and flat, authentic stucco adds mass and thermal richness to a room. The goal is to create walls that feel like they have stood for centuries, providing a sense of permanence and safety. When light hits a textured stucco wall, it creates a dynamic interplay of shadow and highlight that changes throughout the day, turning the architecture itself into a living, breathing element of the interior design. Hand-finished plaster walls are the interior counterpart to the exterior stucco, offering a velvety, tactile quality that paint simply cannot replicate. In 2026, we are moving away from smooth level 5 drywall finishes toward walls that show the hand of the artisan. Whether you choose Tadelac for water resistance in bathrooms or a clay-based plaster for living areas, the result is a soft, matte finish that absorbs sound and regulates humidity. This contributes heavily to the quiet luxury atmosphere, where the value lies in the intrinsic quality of the build rather than flashy decor. For those who cannot commit to full plaster, limewash interior paint has become the essential alternative for achieving that cloudy, old-world patina. Limewash penetrates the surface rather than sitting on top, creating a depth of color that feels organic and mineral-based. It is particularly effective in the earthy neutral color palette of the Spanish farmhouse, adding nuance to whites, beiges, and grays. This paint technique softens the corners of a room and creates a monolithic color story where walls and ceilings blend seamlessly, enveloping the inhabitant in warmth. Flooring plays a pivotal role in grounding the organic Spanish farmhouse, with large format terracotta tiles taking the lead. We are stepping away from the ubiquity of white oak engineered planks and returning to the raw beauty of baked earth. These tiles, often sourced from Spain or Mexico, offer a spectrum of colors from deep burnt orange to soft peach and dusty pink. The key for 2026 is the scale. Larger tiles with minimal grout lines create a more modern, expansive feel while maintaining that crucial connection to the earth and the history of Hacienda architecture. Saltillo tile patio ideas are also migrating indoors, blurring the lines between the internal living spaces and the external courtyards. The authentic Saltillo tile, with its rounded edges and slight surface irregularities, creates a relaxed, unpretentious foundation for the home. To modernize this look, designers are pairing these rustic floors with ultra-modern furniture silhouettes and sleek lighting fixtures. The contrast between the ancient feeling of the floor and the contemporary furnishings is exactly what creates that sophisticated tension found in the best organic modern interiors. Looking upward, reclaimed wood ceiling beams are non-negotiable for adding structural definition and warmth to these spaces. However, the application has evolved. Instead of perfectly faux-finished beams, we are prioritizing genuine timber with cracks, knots, and signs of previous life. These beams draw the eye upward, accentuating the volume of the room while bringing the scale down to a human level. Whether arranged in a simple parallel layout or a complex truss system, the wood introduces a necessary organic element that balances the abundance of stone and plaster. The architectural language of the Spanish farmhouse is spoken through soft arch interior design, but with a twist for 2026. We are seeing a departure from the perfect semicircle toward more elongated, parabolic curves in architecture. These shapes feel less Romanesque and more organic, mimicking the natural curves found in caves or cliff sides. These arches are used for passageways, shower enclosures, and even recessed shelving niches, softening the transition between rooms and eliminating harsh 90-degree angles that can make a home feel rigid and welcoming. Dark bronze window frames have emerged as the standard for glazing in this style, replacing the stark black of the previous industrial farmhouse trend. Bronze offers a softer, warmer metal tone that complements the earthy palette of terracotta and stucco without disappearing completely. These frames are often thinner and more delicate, allowing for maximum glass area to flood the interiors with natural light. The juxtaposition of the slender, dark metal against the thick, light plaster walls creates a graphic pop that is elegant rather than aggressive. The heart of the home, the kitchen, is undergoing a massive transformation with the plaster hood kitchen trend. Gone are the days of stainless steel chimneys or oversized wooden cabinets. The hood is now treated as a sculptural extension of the wall itself. Often curving gently outward from the ceiling, the plaster hood creates a seamless, monolithic look that simplifies the visual clutter of the kitchen. This focus on form over ornamentation aligns perfectly with the warm minimalism ethos, making the kitchen feel more like a living room than a utility space. Backsplashes are also seeing a shift, with Zellage tile backsplash installations becoming the jewelry of the kitchen. These handmade Moroccan tiles are renowned for their surface irregularities and varying glaze tones, which catch the light in mesmerizing ways. In an organic Spanish farmhouse, Zellage tiles are typically used in neutral shades, creams, pearlescent whites, or soft grays, providing a shimmering texture that contrasts beautifully with the matte plaster walls. The imperfect edges require tight grout lines, enhancing the feeling of a handcrafted surface. Complementing the hard surfaces is a move towards monolithic color stories, where cabinetry matches the wall color for a seamless, built-in appearance. This technique creates a sense of calm and visual continuity, allowing the eye to rest. Instead of high-contrast islands, we are seeing kitchens where the cabinets, walls, and even countertops share the same tonal value. This monochromatic approach relies on texture, the grain of the wood, the trowel marks of the plaster, to provide interest, resulting in a space that feels expansive and incredibly sophisticated. Wrought iron home accents remain a staple of the Spanish aesthetic, but in 2026, the designs are slimmer and more refined. We are seeing wrought iron used for stair railings, curtain rods, and light fixtures, but with a focus on linear, geometric forms rather than ornate scrollwork. This modernized ironwork acts as the eyeliner of the room, providing thin, dark strokes that define the space and ground the lighter elements. It is a nod to the craftsmanship of the past without weighing down the interior with heavy, Gothic associations. Biophilic Design 2.0 is integral to the Spanish Hacienda fusion, emphasizing a deep structural connection to nature. This goes beyond potted plants. It is about orienting the home to capture specific views, breezes, and sunlight patterns. Internal courtyards are a major feature, acting as the lungs of the house. Even in smaller footprints, creating a glass-enclosed atrium or a light well filled with greenery brings the outdoors into the very center of the home, reinforcing the organic philosophy and providing a private connection to nature that is shielded from the street. Seamless indoor-outdoor living is the ultimate goal, achieved through pocketing glass doors that vanish into the walls, effectively doubling the living space. The transition from the interior terracotta floor to the exterior patio must be flush and continuous, dissolving the barrier between shelter and landscape. This flow encourages a lifestyle that is attuned to the seasons and the time of day, a hallmark of Mediterranean living. The patio becomes an extension of the living room, furnished with the same level of comfort and style as the indoors. Sustainability plays a massive role in this trend, with a focus on sustainable Spanish design principles. The heavy thermal mass of stone and stucco walls naturally regulates temperature, reducing the need for artificial heating and cooling. Furthermore, the emphasis on reclaimed materials, wood, tile, and stone, reduces the carbon footprint of the build. This style is inherently anti-disposable. It is built to last for generations, using materials that are non-toxic and locally sourced whenever possible, aligning luxury with environmental responsibility. In terms of color, the earthy neutral color palette is expanding to include warmer, spicier tones. Terracotta pink plaster is having a major moment, providing a glowing, flattering light that white paint simply cannot achieve. These warm neutrals are paired with deep olive greens, saddle leathers, and charcoal tones to create a rich, layered look. The absence of cool grays and bright blues ensures the home feels cozy and inviting, mimicking the natural hues of the Spanish landscape: sun-baked earth, dry grass, and deep shade. Lighting in the Organic Spanish Farmhouse is atmospheric and moody, moving away from grids of recessed lights. Instead, we rely on layers of warm light provided by sconces, lamps, and pendants made from natural materials. Ceramic sconces that blend into the plaster walls, woven rattan pendants, and forged iron chandeliers create pools of light that highlight the texture of the walls and ceilings. This lighting strategy enhances the drama of the architecture, creating shadows and highlights that emphasize the curves and volumes of the space. The furniture selection for this style leans heavily into modern Mediterranean retreat vibes. We are seeing low-slung sofas in linen or boucle, oversized armchairs with wooden frames, and heavy timber dining tables. The shapes are organic and rounded, echoing the soft arches of the architecture. There is a rejection of sharp edges and high-gloss finishes in favor of matte, honed, and brushed surfaces. The furniture should feel substantial and grounded, anchoring the airy, high-ceilinged rooms found in Spanish Revival homes. Bathrooms are transformed into personal spas, utilizing Tadelac or waterproof plaster to create seamless, grout-free shower environments. The concept of the wet room fits perfectly here, often featuring a freestanding bathtub carved from stone or composite material as the focal point. Brass or unlacquered copper fixtures add a touch of warmth that patinas over time, living and changing with the house. These spaces are minimalist but never cold, thanks to the enveloping warmth of the earthy wall finishes and natural light. Textiles are the final layer that brings softness to the Hacienda style. We are looking at heavy linens, wool rugs, and tapestries that add acoustic dampening and tactile comfort. Pattern is used sparingly, often in the form of subtle stripes or woven textures rather than bold prints. The drapery is floor to ceiling, often pooling slightly on the floor to emphasize the height of the rooms and the relaxed nature of the design. These soft furnishings provide the necessary counterpoint to the hard surfaces of tile and stucco. The resurgence of Spanish colonial revival 2026 is also influencing exterior landscaping. We are moving away from water-intensive lawns toward xeriscaping with olive trees, agave, and lavender. Gravel paths, stone retaining walls, and bubbling fountains create a sensory experience that starts before you even enter the front door. The exterior of the home sets the expectation for the interior, creating a holistic design narrative that celebrates the beauty of arid climates and the resilience of nature. Ultimately, the Organic Spanish Farmhouse is about creating a home that feels like a sanctuary from the digital world. It is a rejection of the temporary and the artificial in favor of the permanent and the real. By blending the historic strength of the Hacienda with the softness of organic modernism, this style offers a way of living that is grounded, sophisticated, and deeply connected to the natural rhythms of life. It is not just a trend for 2026. It is a return to a more human, soulful way of building. To summarize, the Organic Spanish Farmhouse represents a maturation of residential design, moving us towards spaces that prioritize texture, authenticity, and emotional well-being. By fusing the structural integrity of the Spanish hacienda with the refined simplicity of modern organic interiors, you create a home that transcends fleeting trends. From the tactile warmth of authentic stucco and reclaimed wood to the grounding presence of terracotta floors, every element works together to build a sophisticated environment that is as comfortable as it is beautiful. If you found this deep dive into the 2026 Spanish Hacienda fusion trend inspiring, Please give this video a thumbs up and share it with anyone planning a renovation. We would love to hear from you in the comments. Which element of this style resonates most with you? Is it the moody terracotta pink plaster, the seamless indoor-outdoor courtyards, or the return of dark bronze accents? Subscribe to the channel for more cutting-edge architectural analysis and design guides. Until next time, keep designing with soul and intention.